example, something that I'm doing. And but if I want to use other media, especially in the educational realm, it gets really tricky because copyright spells out very specifically this is what you're allowed and not allowed to do. But of course, in the realm of education, we have this wonderful fair use clause, which has a lot of leeway depending on what you're working with. You know, if you're a social studies teacher or a math teacher, you know, there's certain requirements. You can use like 30 seconds or 10% of this particular piece. But if you're a film and media teacher, then you have a lot more leeway. And in some instances, you know, teachers have gotten away with, you know, just showing entire videos whole scale. For some of their courses. So because there's a lot of confusion, well, Ben, what can I do? Because it really is sort of this huge maze of what you're allowed to do. I started relying on public domain and royalty-free media. And I encourage all of my teachers and students that I work with to go to some of these resources first. So that way you know, okay, I just found this fantastic clip on YouTube, or I found this wonderful image. Now I got to go track down, you know, who's the original creator, the poster. I got to ask for permission. And maybe, you know, on YouTube, maybe it's a repost of a repost of a repost. So now I've got to go ahead and jump through the hoops and try and find who the creator was. With public domain and royalty-free stuff, it makes it a lot easier. And generally, when you find something, the artist or the creator's name is right there. And before I get into that, I just want to touch real briefly on Creative Commons. How many of you here are familiar with Creative Commons? Okay, good. Lots of hands. All right. So the idea of copyright is a very old system, and at least here in the United States, legislators have continued to add requirements and restrictions on copyrighted, and I believe the most recent update, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act that was passed in 1999 or 2000, it now protects authors' works up to 70 or 75 years past their death. 70, right.
It is 70 for an individual after their passing, and for a corporation, it's 120 years outright.
Oh, okay, thanks. So there you go. So Gore Vidal, who just recently passed, all of his essays and books and everything, they're going to be protected for another 70 years. And that's, I don't want to say it's crazy, but it's like, wow, that's a long time for his estate or any of his survivors or anything to be collecting money on that, and it makes it really difficult then to access these huge banks of wonderful media that we've used and we've had access to. So Creative Commons basically is the idea that when you publish something to the internet, it's automatically copyright. And that's something I always tell teachers and students, and they're like, what? Yeah. It's actually written into copyright law. If you publish something online that you've created, even if it's just in a blog post, oh, you know, I just took this, maybe you've got a Tumblr or a Splash blog or something, I just took this picture, the snapshot at Disney World or at Screencast Camp right here, and I put it online. Boom, that's my picture. I now own the copyright to it because I put it there automatically. Creative Commons is a lot more flexible, and rather than saying when you post something online it's copyright and now everyone has to go and seek permission and you can go ahead and tell them no all you want, Creative Commons starts off with the viewpoint of if you publish something online, it's probably because you want to share it, and it's probably because you want other people to have it and use it. And so we're going to start with that. So they've got a few different licenses. You could see right here the selected license that I have here. It says Attribution 3.0 Unported. And basically what it allows you to do is just set up specific restrictions. So it starts with the premise of you can use this. All the Creative Commons licenses say you can use this. If you apply this license to this picture that I just took of Screencast Camp, you can use this. With the attribution license, all it means is you can use it as long as you tell people who the original creator is. Okay? So if I take this picture of everyone in this room right now and I put it on my blog and I apply this Attribution 3.0 license, they can go ahead, they can use that image wherever they want, as long as they're giving me attribution. And they make it really easy to go through here answering these questions. You want to allow modifications of your work? I could say no, boom, and now my license is no derivatives. So you can use my picture, but you can't go photoshopping it and moving people's heads around or turning it into some meme, something. That doesn't mean that people aren't going to do it. You know how the internet works. But it's a lot easier, especially in the educational world, to share things like this, and people feel a lot more comfortable. I can also say, allow modifications of my work, yes, as long as others share alike. So I can put this out there and say, yes, people can use my piece of media, and they can even rework it all they want, as long as they attach the same license and they allow other people to use it as well. And these all have very serious underpinnings. The people, serious legal underpinnings. The people that were behind Creative Commons a few years ago, they actually gave iPods to everyone in Congress here in the U.S. with a whole bunch of podcasts and media that describe Creative Commons and how it works. So these are all legally binding. You can put this on there, and if, you know, like the internet goes, if someone does take your stuff and violates the Creative Commons license, there are legal ramifications that you can follow up on. So I won't go any more into Creative Commons, but as you can see, they offer a really wonderful tool. You select your license that you want. You know, do I want to allow commercial uses of my work? No. Nobody's going to make money off of this except for me. And then they give you a little code right here so you can copy that code, paste it in your website. Most major media sharing sites have this built in now. YouTube, when you upload a video to YouTube, they've got, you go into the settings for it, and they have the standard YouTube license, and they also have a Creative Commons license, Vimeo, Flickr, and I'll show you some of that. So that's Creative Commons. All right, so here we go. This is not a very exhaustive list. They're just 10 resources, and when I'm done going through them, I'll open it up, and if anyone wants to share some of the resources you have, go ahead and put them on this Google Doc, by all means. That's what this is all about. And because I'm in education, some of my resources kind of skew towards education resources. So if you see it, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's great. Pictures for kids to look at animals. That's just where I'm coming from. So, you know, if you're not seeing a lot of that stock photo of, you know, that marketing photos of the people looking happy with the headsets on and stuff like that, that's because that's not my industry. So anyways, I got 3 sections here: audio, still images, clip art, and video. And we'll just go ahead and start with audio. And the first one being Freesound. And Freesound is a lot like Flickr for audio. How many of you have ever seen the Freesound project? It's a really cool site. It is a huge open source project to share audio the same way that people share images via Flickr. And so it's all user-generated audio. It's not one of those things where you have to purchase, you know, oh, it's free, but you're actually purchasing this CD with like stock, back in the day, a CD or MP3s of stock audio. And I'm going to just search some. I'm going to search for a whip crack and see if I can find this. Ooh, a neck crack, swishes. Let's hear. Oh, there we go. I've used this one before. I use this a lot because I like to put little sound effects into my screencasts. And I was one of the runners-up in the education category for the Screencast Camp Awards last year, and I had this whole motif. I dressed up like a cowboy and everything because I was living out on the wild, wild web, and I wanted to have some fun with it. So I went ahead and downloaded that whip crack, and at the beginning, during the intro, I had some music playing, and every time I said wild, wild web, the whip would crack, and it was just something fun. So this is really cool, and because this is here, I've got a Creative Commons license right here. This work is licensed under the attribution license. Awesome. Which means I can use it for whatever I want. I can go ahead and download this, and I can use it in any media project. I can even make money off of it because it doesn't say non-commercial. All I have to do is just say that this was uploaded by CGFX. That's the creator of this file. And there's all sorts of really awesome audio on here. I had students making a soundscape, a sound effect story. Basically, you've probably seen one of those little videos of what Foley artists do. And they had to create a story just with audio, and it was really fun. We were able to find, we created like this winter scene of somebody kind of crunching through the snow, and some cars driving by with the slush, you know, in the road, and some kids having a snowball fight, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So, ooh, microphone.
Oh yeah. As far as the attribution is concerned, that's the part that I don't quite understand. Is when you create a screencast, I mean, is it, what level of attribution does it have to show up on the HTML page, in the video itself at the end? That's the part that I don't quite get. Like, does it have to be really out in front, showing you all the, because say you have, for exactly what you just mentioned, you have 15 different sources.
Yep.
Do you include that as a screenshot or in your actual presentation? Or what level of attribution are you putting in there?
I've found that it depends on the site sometimes. There are some sites that will be up front. If you're going to use any of this, any of our media here with the Creative Commons, then it all has to be in the credits at the end in the actual piece of media. Some sites are much more lenient. You just have to mention it. So let me see, YouTube, silent era, Back to the Future. All right, so this is a video that I did as an assignment for a digital media class that I took, where you had to take a modern movie and turn it into a silent era equivalent. And so what I did is I came down here and I put all of my attributions right here, and I actually heard from a couple of those people, and they said, "Hey, that was awesome. Thanks for following the license and actually." Silent movie title card, this lady right here, a lot of people have used hers. She's really good. She likes to track that and everything. But I haven't had any problems like that. So I always tell people, if you're making a video and you're using Vimeo or you're using YouTube, post all of that right here.
So that in that previous Creative Commons attribution thing, where you're putting together the icons, there was an option for make it easier for people to attribute this to you.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that show up? Like in that freesound.org, do you just create your own attribution and say, hey, I found it on this website, this person, or is there something that you can copy and paste, like embed code, that you could just put right into?
You know, I don't know for Freesound specifically. I've done that where I've just taken it and downloaded it, and then I usually just copy the link right here and say the username. But again, it's usually dependent on the site. Some sites will have nice little tools. Do you want to attribute this? Copy and paste this, put it in there. And again, your publishing platform will depend as well, because if you're using WordPress, for example, you can take certain URLs from certain sites like Flickr and YouTube, just drop the URL in there, and it will wrap it with, you know, a nice little embed code, and it may even include a link back to the original media.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Great questions. So that's Freesound, really cool database of sounds. I like it, like I said, lots of little short clips. It's really great for Foley work, just to add that extra layer of, I don't know about authenticity, but fun, sort of. JewelBeat, this is a royalty-free. This is not a Creative Commons site. It's a royalty-free one. I like it because it functions a lot like iTunes. All the tracks on here are 99 cents, but when you purchase these tracks from JewelBeat, you are purchasing a royalty-free license in pretty much in perpetuity. I believe they have some stipulation on there that says the license is good for like 75 or 80 years or something, but you're not. Maybe you might be around that long. I don't know what medical science has in store for us. But this is really nice. There is another website that's similar called Sounds Abound. Does anyone use that? And I didn't put that one on there. I'll put this one on here. I just thought of it. Our school district has a district license for this, so we pay for this. The students can go log in, and they can go ahead and download the sound tracks, and they can use that. But I like this guy, the Jewel Beat. Actually, when I first blogged about it, this guy was really cool, and he found it and said, "Oh, hey, can I send you a couple flash drives with a whole bunch of media tracks on it?" Sure, great, go for it. So, and you can see, I mean, you can, they'll package up, they'll send you an external hard drive, $400, comes loaded with a lot of tracks. Yep.
Sorry, I was fixing an internet connection while you were talking.
Yeah.
Can you show us a search for a song and show us what it looks like? Is it just a song? Is it multiple links of the same song?
So, let's see. I'm going to search for nature. Okay. So you can see a lot of them have the videos attached to it. Let's just play this Nature at Rest. You're not going to get, a lot of times I'll show this to kids and they'll immediately start, oh, okay, let me go search for Kanye or let me go search for an artist. You're not going to get that music. And I always tell them, you never will. You know, you can go to iTunes and pay 99 cents, but when you pay 99 cents for that, you're not getting the license. You're just getting the license to listen to it for yourself. So this stuff is more mood music, elevator music, really nice background music. Because sometimes it's difficult. Some people I know, they like to go into GarageBand and they create their own loops, but not everyone has a Mac to do that. Other people will just use the stock stuff, but the problem with that is eventually all the videos start sounding the same, and you'll see that with a lot of the indie journalists and blog sites and everything. Oh, great, it's another Windows Movie Maker intro with the blue screen and the, you know. Not that I'm knocking Windows Movie Maker, just I'm guilty of it myself with the Apple loops in iMovie.
One thing I wondered about is on these sites, do they have the right, like if there was one that we looked on and they play music, and how do you know the person who uploads it has, you know, like music, like sheet music has restrictions on.
Sure.
So how do you know that it really is theirs or that they've got the right to do it? Or
I guess in a nutshell, you don't. I mean, because technically they could be anywhere, but Jewel Beat and Sounds Abound have been in business for a long time, so they've overcome any of those, you know, kind of fly-by-night, hey, look, we've got a social network up for sharing music. And I'll show you another one where there are some issues like that. But if that is a concern, you might want to stick with Jewel Beat, Sounds Abound, one where you're paying for the license, right? So if there is anything that comes out of the woodwork, like, hey, wait a minute, this is copyrighted material, you're not on the hook, they are. As far as free sound goes, I mean, I have yet to find anything that could be considered copyright. Because this is a really strong community, most of these are audio clips that people are creating themselves. I wouldn't have been surprised if this person had literally had a whip out in his backyard and was creating these sounds. In fact, I've done that before on free sound. I've got an account and I've just went out one day and I recorded traffic noises. And then I uploaded like 3 or 4 of them. So. All right, so hey, Sounds Abound, thanks for, I love Google Docs. I love doing sessions like this. This is great, thank you. So SoundCloud, how many of you have heard of SoundCloud? All right, cool. SoundCloud is kind of like what MySpace should have been, right? They've kind of taken over. SoundCloud is like where all the 21st century DJs and everything go now to throw their tracks up. How's, you know, what do you guys think? Things like that. And this one, you can find a lot of really great original stuff. This site, you do have to be careful though, because there are some people that will upload copyrighted stuff. So you have to have a good ear for that, or you have to pay very close attention. But anyway, SoundCloud is really cool because it makes it makes sharing audio visual, which is cool for this group because we're all about visual stuff. So like this track right here, DJ Massa. I'm going to play it. So you can see these little comments popping up. As you're playing it, if you have an account, you can leave a comment on the track where it's really cool. When I first found this, I was like, this is cool, because it'd be not only in the educational world a great way of, if a student's going to be doing a presentation or going to be doing some oratory work, you can leave comments specifically instead of grading their written work. But anyways, again, a great way of doing sound effects, things like that. It's free to sign up for. Anything that you can download should be free to download. Not everything you can download, because it's up to the user whether or not to allow that. You can also create groups, so you could be sharing media. And let me just see. I'll log in real quick. Oops, we can't log you in because you typed your password in wrong, and I'm glad I'm not screencasting this. So I have 12 tracks. Might be hard to hear. I was doing, again, for my digital media class, I should have plugged into the speakers. Sorry about that. For the digital media class I was taking, we had to do some sound effects, so I had a bowl of Rice Krispies, and I got my iPhone out, and I just recorded that. That's not necessarily, like I said, where this community is focused on. If you're looking for those types of clips, head over to the Freesound Project. This community is more about indie music. And to that end, I have found a lot of really great sort of background music that I have used before. So let me go back to that Creative Commons. And guitar. Show some advanced search options. So I'm going to go ahead and say search only for Creative Commons licensed tracks. So this is stuff that people have created themselves. They should be free to use commercially. That's always good, especially for those of you that aren't in education, that are in the industry. Oh, that's kind of annoying. I don't like that at all. So we'll come down to guitar herder. Oh, that's just a nice strumming. I know it's hard to hear with the fan. That's just a nice strumming, sort of, and it's 1:30. So that might be perfect for just some nice background music right there. And if you go over here, you can see it's got by attribution. Okay. So if I click on this track, I could save it to my favorites. Apparently he hasn't turned on downloading, because it would have this download link right here. So I might go ahead and favorite this and add him to my contacts and send him a quick little message that says, hey, I love this track, could you offer it for downloading? So that's a cool one. I like it. And then Vimeo. How many of you use Vimeo for any of your video work? Yeah, kind of. Do you? Vimeo is a really cool, almost anti-YouTube. It's a real creative set. It's totally dedicated to your own original video. It's really a video sharing site for, originally started as artists and people that were creating and passionate about video, but it's since grown out of that, and there are a lot of commercial interests that are using it, and they offer actually some really nice packages, so you can have your own sort of video solution in a box. But they introduced this a while back, so you can go ahead and purchase tracks directly from them, or you can go ahead and find some Creative Commons ones. So you can see right here just the most recent stuff. We've got $1.99, $1.99. Working Class Man. Oh, but that's explicit, so I'm going to stop it right there before it gets to any naughty bits. because this stream is rated PG, right? But you can see right here, free Creative Commons. So I could go in there, suspended. Let's see, describe the music you're going for. Ooh, jazz. So that might be good for some little intro music, something like that. If you're already using Vimeo, which so no one in here really is, but if you're already using Vimeo, it makes it really easy because you can use it, put it right in your video. Did you have a question? Oh, get that mic.
I put this in the document. A quick caveat is if you do purchase, like there's a $100 license to purchase it for commercial use, it protects you. It's royalty free, but you're only protected if it's hosted on Vimeo. It doesn't say that, like I couldn't find it outright on the site, but when you purchase the license and you read through it, you're like, oh, so we were going to host it on YouTube or Wistia or somewhere else, and
they want it in their ecosystem.
Yeah, so that's just something to consider if you're looking to host it somewhere other than Vimeo.
And that's an excellent point. Like I said, my area of expertise is not in the for-profit industry, coming from education, not for profit. There's some different rules, you know. So when I see something for personal use, oh great, because the fair use clause would cover that then, because a student is sharing something that they've created as a part of their education. So thanks for putting that in there. Appreciate it. So that's Vimeo. Premium Beat. Wow, someone threw Premium Beat on there. Cool. All right. Not that I don't want to look at it, but it's already 10:30, so I'm just gonna.
Skip over. But it's like another place where you can purchase for music like this.
Let's take a look at it real quick. So like Jewel Beat, something like that. Ooh, free music and sound effects. I like that. Oh, gotcha. So you don't have to do the cutting up yourself and everything? Oh, that's cool. I like that. All right, so down here to still images and clip art. This first one I'll just gloss over, Pics for Learning. It's really educationally focused. These are for the kids. They want a picture of a dog for their third grade PowerPoint project, where they're basically doing a PowerPoint version of a research paper. Oh, okay, we need a picture of a dog, so here we go, and we'll grab this picture of the dog right here, rather than going out and doing a Google search, and who knows who owns any of those photos on Google search. You can go right here, and this will tell you right here, boom. This is what I like about Pics for Learning, is that it has the bib right there, the annotated bib. So you can just copy. So in the education world, hey guys, you need to annotate and show where you got this. Copy and paste that, boom, put it on your last slide. Or quite often, I'll tell them, put it right on the slide you're going to put the image in. Or if you're in a video, put it at the end at the credits. Isn't this puppy cute? Yes, it is. Great caption. So Pics for Learning. This stuff, though, you can't use for profit. Because this is dedicated to copyright-friendly images for education. So if you are in a business that your main most of your customers are in education, then that might work for you. Open Clip Art Library. This one's a little more geeky because a lot of this stuff in the open. Come on, Open Clip Art, go. Okay, there it goes. This was something that really saved our district a few years ago, because we dumped Microsoft Office. The licensing fees just got to be too much, and it's actually pretty much the trend now in a lot of school districts. There's no money to license that kind of software anymore, so they're going to Google Docs, or in our case, we went to OpenOffice, which is now NeoOffice on the Macs, and we lost all of that amazing clip art. Of course, teachers are going, no, we need the clip art. It's our lifeblood for those newsletters, we need that nice little schoolhouse. And so the open clip art library filled in really nicely, and it works almost exactly like the Freesound project did. If I happen to need some nice clip art of sausage, which who doesn't need a good clip art of sausage every now and then, I guess, with a little spicy mustard right there. I like that. So, but there you go. You've got nice ways, quick ways of sharing. If you want to donate that, you can do that. And this is all open. Okay, so everything here has been put into the public domain. And they make a very strong point of that, because you can publish things directly to the public domain. Very few people do. I think the Library of Congress is one of the largest publishers in that area. But yeah, but this is open, so I can use this for whatever I want. Profit, non-profit, I can edit it. And you can see right down here, I've got lots of different choices. I can download the PNG if I want, but I know a lot of them also come as by default. When I click on View Image, they come as SVGs, which to most people, what is that? But to some of you geeky people, it's like, yes, SVG. So vector graphics, which you can resize this thing to fit your brand new Retina display MacBook Pro, and it's going to look gorgeous. It's not going to look all pixelated and everything. So it might bloat the size of your video projects, but yeah.
Great. So I know you're not a legal expert, and I don't know if anybody else knows the answer to this one, but obviously I work for TechSmith, and I do a lot of instructional training, even just to other coworkers. We're gonna have something called EvCon coming up, and I really want nice photos for my presentation at EvCon. I work for a for-profit company, but the stuff that I create, the stuff that I'm creating is not at all for profit. It's for instructional use.
Right.
Do you know if those pertain to what you're doing or the company that you're doing it for?
In your case, I would probably err on the side of the company that you're doing it for.
That's kind of what I figured.
Yeah. I live down in St. Joe, Michigan, so I'm literally right across the river from Whirlpool headquarters. Their research and development there, and all of their engineers, some of whom I know, they do amazing work, and they've got all of these patents, but Whirlpool owns the patents. So it's kind of like that situation where they're doing the work, but they don't own it. Yeah. So I might err on that side.
Kind of to add, like we do we offer a lot of training on our products, and in a sense, it's like this is free training and it's educational, but I'm gonna have a hard time selling that as education and not, trying to sell our product.
The ultimate goal, yeah.
Right. So we're erring on the side of
caution,
commercial use there.
Sounds like a good idea. So open clip art, all sorts of stuff. I'm not going to go through and show you. Flickr does have a nice Creative Commons pool to it. And when you go start exploring Flickr's Creative Commons, it's really nice because they give you this right off the bat. They give you the different types of licenses. So you don't have to search for a picture first and then go, oh, I found the most amazing picture of a sunset, and now I've got to go figure out, can I use it based on the license? I'm going to come down here, attribution, share alike. So that means if I use one of these photos, I have to tell people who created it, and then I also have to allow other people to use it as well. I can't claim copyright on that. So if I go ahead and click See More, and then I'll browse some of the tags, we'll go to sunset. There we go. That's actually not that bad. There's a lot of photos there, 7 pages worth of that. And right down here, license, some rights reserved, attribution, share alike. So there's nothing there about non-commercial, so you can use that to make money. Go for it. And that's I love that. And unfortunately, in a lot of school districts, Flickr's still blocked because it's a social networking site and people are sharing stuff. But there's so much great stuff there. It's sort of a toss-up. Some districts have it open, some don't. Obviously, that wouldn't be an issue in the industry that is making money off of this sort of thing. So, but I like this, and when you upload this, you do have the ability to come down right here and change that license very easily. And people are I found people are very respectful on Flickr. I've had friends that are on Flickr that have been approached by bands and said, hey, we really like your image, we want to use it for an album cover. You know, what would you like to charge? Guys, like $10, whatever, you know. And I had I've had various nonprofits come through, educationally focused nonprofits, and find my images, and because I've got the Creative Commons license on there, you know, they go ahead and they use them. They're usually pretty nice, and they'll put a comment on there that says, hey, we use this, we really like it. So it's kind of nice. I know Flickr's really old, and so some people kind of go, oh, that MySpace effect, you know, it's old, it's not young and fresh and hot anymore, but it's still a good resource. Ooh, presenter media, what's that?
I added it.
Oh, let's get her a microphone.
You can get a whole lot of graphics. They're mostly those naked little stick figures. Sometimes they have clothes.
It's
This is a huge joke in our company because we
Risque
prefer
stick
them
figures.
dressed. But as you can see on the screen, some of them are actually animated. They do all of this in PowerPoint. But there's also still images. Some of them, they're modifiable. So if I don't necessarily like the color, I can change out a color of something. I can change the size of the graphic. This is actually a subscription, but it's only $60 a year. And for my company, with the volume of which we're using this, we even used it in a book that we published. It was well worth it. $60 a year might as well be free to us because we're using it that much.
So it's an unrestricted license that you have then?
Completely unrestricted
Wow.
license. We can use it for anything. Like I said, we published these in a book.
Cool.
So
And I see these guys all over the place, so maybe that's only $60 a year. That is
right, yeah,
next to
it's not terribly expensive. This is one of my favorite animations. This whole with on the screen and throwing stuff around, and you can actually enter in the text, and it'll put the text up for you. But if you're using it looking for business purposes, this is a great one for business. I know you said a lot of yours are animals and stuff, but necessarily don't have the marketing graphs. This is a great business one.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I would gladly take something like this to my secondary teachers. You know, because like I said, a lot of the media and everything out there is more focused on soft, touchy-feely stuff.
Is that $60 the whole company, or each person in your company, or?
I'm not entirely sure about that question. It appears to be an individual login, but there's 2 or 3 of us that are using it, so we may actually be breaking our license by 2 or 3 people logging in to the same account. Gosh, this is streaming online. Can we edit that out, please? Can we cut that out in Camtasia? But yeah, good question, and that's something that you should probably look into. But at $60 a year, we find it to be a bargain.
That's great. That's great. All right, moving on down. Wow, 43 other viewers. Did someone share this on Twitter? All right, that's actually okay. So video, just a few little ones right here. Sometimes it's really difficult to get video sites that will allow you to, well, like YouTube. YouTube has the wonderful Creative Commons license there, but then they don't make it necessarily an easy way to get it off of YouTube because they want you to embed it, right? So you use something like, you know, various downloader or something, which I won't mention here, so you can Google it. But Next Vista for Learning, this is totally for the education folks. This is by a wonderful man named Rushton Hurley. This is his nonprofit. He's dedicated to video, instructional video. He's out of California. He's actually going to be here in Michigan in 2 weeks down in Mattawan. I'm bringing him in for a tech camp of our own down there. And all of the video that's on here is licensed under Creative Commons. It's all instructional video. He focuses on kids, you know, showing off, demonstrating what they can do. So if I go to light bulbs, we can see some simple stuff, math, vocab lottery, probability here.
Every Friday in our English class we hold vocab lotteries. The teacher has 2 decks of cards. One deck contains the names of every student in the class.
So a little bit of a common craft style video going on here, but this is all free to use with attribution. You know, he's got links here, downloads, things like that. Again, really, really good for the education market. Those of you that might be in running a commercial business that caters to the education market, you could certainly use this as well. Movie Archive, Internet Archive, is a really, really cool place. How many of you have ever searched through here? Yeah. Have you seen, you remember all of those really fun, campy, black and white, how-to videos like, oh, this is Jimmy, and Jimmy's going to learn about proper hygiene and washing his hands and stuff like that. Tons of those up here, old commercials, stuff like that. They have different collections, the Prelinger collections up here. But they've got all sorts of really amazing stuff up here that you can come and find. Ooh, video game videos. No, we won't look at that right now. But really cool stuff. Let me go. Moving pictures. Apparently that's what they're calling videos. So, moving images. There we go, moving images. Sports videos. So this is more modern stuff. Hill Country Cowboys versus the Horned Frog scrimmage game. This is not very high quality. You're probably not going to be using this, okay? But if you come back up here and search, they've just got an amazing collection of videos, and it's 1046. So unfortunately, I don't really have a lot to show you, but Black History Month and famous banjos. Okay. So good place to go. A lot of old video and some newer stuff. And then this last one, National Park Service B-roll video archive. I don't know how I found this, but when I did, I was like, this makes a lot of sense, right? Because you see these commercials that are like 30 or 60 seconds, come visit the Grand Canyon, and here's an eagle, and then here's the beautiful Grand Canyon. And it's like, putting together a screencast, it takes hours, goes down into 5 minutes. Some cameraman or crew was out there for literally hours, maybe days, in these parks, just capturing footage. And so this has been really, really cool for a lot of kids that are doing science projects and science videos, and so like biology or something involving nature, or kids that just want to create a certain mood and that sort of serene, outdoor, woodsy type video. It's all B-roll, and because it's the National Park Service, it's all in the public domain. Because the government has created it and published it, it's free to use for whatever you want. So you can go down here, and I can go to monuments. Let's see. Ooh, Ellis Island. Ooh, Statue of Liberty. Yeah, we'll do Statue of Liberty. Okay. So, not a lot here. I mean, it's just B-roll. So it's not going to be something that's been highly produced or something. It's just B-roll footage. Now, this particular one comes in, H.264. So you can pretty much handle that with everything. The resolution isn't that great, 720 by 480, but it might make some nice pan up like that. I could see where that might work really well in a student-produced news show, something like that. So, but it's just crazy, some of the stuff that you find hanging out. Generic assorted B-roll video. 4 minutes of generic B-roll video. That's, there it is. No audio track, runtime 30 seconds, just B-roll video, assorted National Park Services. So it's crazy what is out there if you just start looking. People. Boston National Historic Park. Just people walking. And now sky. So this is definitely educator friendly, but it also might be for if you specialize in the media for your company and you've got the time to sift through some of this stuff. There might be a lot there I could definitely see a company that specializes in doing educational videos for digital curriculum, something like that. This would be a treasure trove for them. So there you go. If you have anything else, please throw it on the document. And if you already put something on here, like the presenter media and the beats up here. Oh, premium beat. We got another one, stock 20. If you want to put just a little quick what's there, and yeah, like a caveat, if you have anything that you want to put there, that would be extra helpful. So when people go there, they know, hey, I'm going to be looking at royalty free, so I might have to pay something, or I'm looking at Creative Commons material. That would be awesome. But please share this all you want with whoever. So thanks.